The Caribbean is heating up. A detailed narration. The Caribbean is heating up. Venezuela has just mobilized more than 2,500 troops and flown Russian-built fighter jets into large-scale military exercises. At the exact same moment, the U.S. Navy has pushed a strong tasking into the region. The guided missile destroyer USS Stockdale transited the Panama Canal and steamed into the Caribbean Sea. In short order, 8 American warships are operating in the theater. Venezuela's Su-30 jets are airborne with Russian anti-ship missiles, and the long-dormant U.S. base at Roosevelt Roads in Puerto Rico is suddenly active again. So what is this build-up really about, and where could it go next? Let's walk through it, step by step. Opening scene, the hardware on both sides. Start with the Stockdale. It's an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. Think of it as the Navy's multi-tool. Speed, over 30 knots. Brains, the Aegis Combat System, a fast, computerized radar and fire control suite that can detect, track, and engage dozens of targets at once. The ship carries over 90 vertical launch cells. That sounds technical, but the point is simple. One hull can deliver Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, standard anti-air interceptors, and anti-submarine rockets. In practice, that means the Stockdale can protect itself, defend neighboring ships, or reach deep inland targets without warning. Now add the USS Lake Erie, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser. If destroyers are bodyguards, cruisers are the command brain, radars that sweep farther, battle management systems that coordinate multiple ships and aircraft, and layered air defenses that can create a bubble of protection for a whole group. Then layer in an amphibious-ready group. This changes the calculus. An amphibious group isn't just a few ships, it's a floating expeditionary base. On board, you can find thousands of Marines, CH-53 helicopters, and MV-22 Ospreys, landing craft pumping men and gear ashore, and in some cases F-35B stealth jets capable of short takeoff and vertical landing. That is the ability to put boots on the ground within hours. Below the surface, the most stealthy actor. A nuclear-powered attack submarine. Whether Virginia-class or Los Angeles-class, these subs can gather intelligence, trail hostile surface ships, or launch cruise missiles from far outside the visual horizon. They operate in silence and add a hard-to-counter layer of threat. The sky, surveillance, patrols, and stealth. Modern maritime confrontation isn't only about steel and shells. It's about observation and control of the airspace. The U.S. advantage includes endurance drones, think MQ-9 class, long loiter platforms that can watch ports, track convoys, and relay live video for hours or days. They turn individual movements into a continuous, searchable picture. Maritime patrol aircraft, P-8 Poseidon equivalents, fly hundreds of miles from base, deploy sonobuoys to find subs, and use radar to map ship traffic over a wide area. F-35s, if deployed, stealth fighters that can penetrate air defenses, perform precision strikes, and serve as a networked sensor to share targeting data across the fleet. Put simply, ships provide the firepower and local sensors, patrol planes and drones extend the picture beyond the horizon, and stealth fighters close the gap to strike with minimal warning. The result is a layered, networked combat system, each platform making the others more effective. Roosevelt Roads, geography turned strategic advantage. Roosevelt Roads isn't just a convenient pier, it's geography. Once one of the largest U.S. naval hubs in the Caribbean, it was mostly dormant after the early 2000s. Reactivating it changes timelines. From Roosevelt Roads, U.S. ships and aircraft can reach Venezuela, the Lesser Antilles, or the Central Caribbean far faster than from the U.S. mainland. That gives commanders temporal advantage, the ability to respond in hours, resupply frequently, and maintain a persistent presence without exhausting logistics. Operationally, a forward base provides fuel, spare parts, medical facilities, and command and control nodes. Politically, it signals commitment. An active base says you're not just passing through. You plan to stay and to escalate if required. Caracas's play, deterrence, denial, and messaging. Across the line, Venezuela is running Caribe Soberano 200, the country's biggest exercises in years. The package: over 2,500 troops, 12 ships, and 22 aircraft, with the centerpiece a squadron of Russian Su-30 fighters equipped to carry Ka-31 anti-ship missiles. These are not parade props. The Ka-31 is a high-speed anti-ship missile designed to threaten warships' survival envelopes. In a real fight, it forces carriers and destroyers to operate further from shore or invest in costly countermeasures. Venezuela's objective is clear: raise the cost of any outside intervention. It's a deterrence posture. Show you have the capacity to inflict pain, force the other side to slow down and weigh options, and shape international perception that any intervention would be risky. Tactical interactions: how a clash might unfold. What happens if tensions escalate? Here are realistic tactical strands. Escalation through miscalculation. A close intercept or radar lock could be perceived as hostile. Modern warfighting is fast. A misinterpreted maneuver may demand a rapid, dangerous response. Anti-access/area denial, A2/AD, Venezuelan missiles and coastal defenses could create localized no-go zones, pushing U.S. ships farther offshore and complicating amphibious or air operations. Intelligence game, drones, and subs gather the facts. Whoever sees first and communicates faster gains the initiative. Jamming, spoofing, or cyber attacks on communications could blind one side and create openings. Limited strikes versus decisive action. The U.S. could opt for show-of-force maneuvers and precision standoff strikes to degrade specific capabilities, or escalate to larger kinetic operations. Each choice brings bigger political risks, bigger picture, geopolitics, and the long game. This buildup isn't happening in a vacuum. Russia's involvement, selling jets, supplying missiles, conducting training, signals a broader competition for influence in the Western Hemisphere. For Washington, reasserting presence in the Caribbean both reassures partners and warns adversaries that hemispheric security is being watched. For Caracas, courting outside suppliers and showcasing defensive capabilities is a survival strategy and propaganda win. The key takeaway: both sides are signaling. The U.S. demonstrates reach, sustainment, and the ability to respond multilaterally. Venezuela demonstrates resolve and asymmetric threats. Each act raises the stakes for the other. Closing scene: what to watch next? Watch these indicators: more hulls arriving, deployments of F-35s or carrier aviation, active submarine sightings, expanded air operations from Roosevelt Roads, or aggressive Venezuelan missile drills and coastal fortification announcements. Any movement in those directions could shift posture from signaling to preparation. So, is this brandishing or the opening of something bigger? Right now, it's a complex mix of both. Calibrated deterrence layered with a readiness to act. The Caribbean has gone from background to front stage, and the next moves will tell whether this is a temporary episode of high tension or the start of a prolonged standoff.